warm welcome to thorough newspaper analysis, which is presented to you by LawSeco. So, today we'll discuss important articles from the newspaper of 14th May 2021. This newspaper analysis is presented to you by me. My name is Ankita Parida. I have completed my BTech from IIIT Bhubaneswar and MTech from ITIA Bhubaneswar. I have completed my LLB recently in 2020 and today I work as a trainee associate with LawSeco. You can reach out to me at my LinkedIn or Twitter handle which is mentioned here. So we have two important articles of the day. The first is titled as "The Crime of Enforced Disappearance Must End." This article talks about the instances of forced disappearances happening in Asian nations and how they can take a collective action against it. The second article is titled as "A Sword Over the Scalpel." This article talks about the legal risk of life and death medical decisions during pandemic. Thirdly, we have some item in the news in flash section. So the MCQ question for the day is, which of the following statements relating to hypoxia is or are true? Your options are option A. Hypoxia is a condition in which the body or a region of the body is deprived of adequate oxygen supply at the tissue level. Option B. Hypoxia is same as hypoxemia. Option C. Both A and B are true, correct. And option D, none of the above. The descriptive question for the day is, the rapid spread of COVID has resulted in number of intensive care patients exceeding the healthcare capacity. The decision to give scarce resources to one patient instead of another requires consideration, critically analyze. You can write your answers in 250 to 300 words. So the first article of the day talks about the crime of enforced disappearances. Enforced disappearances can be defined in several ways. That is, it is characterized as deprivation of liberty with the form of arrest or detention or abduction without giving a reason by the government or the responsible agents of the government, and such act can occur with context to states' continuous refusal to take relevant actions. So why this is in news? Recently, it has been seen that a coup has begun in Myanmar since February 1, 2021 to overthrow the democratically elected government in Myanmar. And based on it, it has been seen that there are numerous cases of enforced disappearances occurring in Myanmar, and there has been reports with UN Working Group on Enforced or Involuntary Disappearances WGEID, and based on this, it has been saying that it has been receiving reports of enforced disappearance from the family members of the victims. The problem is that these enforced disappearance and the victims might be subjected to various kinds of torture and even murder. This is not the sole situation with Myanmar, but also it has been seen with many nations in Asia itself. One of them is China, where in the Xinjiang province or the Xinjiang autonomous region, the Uyghur community has been subjected to such kind of enforced disappearances and torture by the Chinese government because of their retaliation, which are named as terrorism at some times. Under this pretext, it has been seen that they are forcibly sent to what the Chinese called as vocational education and training centers, and they are cut out from their families and their community, and the family members generally do not receive any communication further to that. It is also seen that in the post conflict era of Sri Lanka, it went through 3 decades of domestic conflict, and there were many instances of enforced disappearances also seen in Sri Lanka. So, what can be a remedy to this? Though we have such kind of convictions like the UN Working Group of Enforced or Involuntary Disappearances, however, many Asian nations have not ratified it and have not accepted it till now. There have been declaration on protection of all person from enforced disappearances in 1992, and there has been international convention for protection of all persons from enforced disappearances. However, this has only this has only 63 member states in it, and only 3 or 4 countries from Asian nations have ratified it. Moving ahead to our second article of the day, it talks about shielding healthcare officials from litigation. Today we are going through a pandemic situation where there is a lot of deficiency in resources. There are we have seen that there is unprecedented pressure on our medical infrastructure system, and it shows the lacunas on our healthcare system. And also it has today shown the lack in legislative framework to tackle difficult constitutional medical legal questions, like how does a clinical determine which patient to treat without violation his legal, ethical, and moral duties? What parameters to consider to save different lives? And who will decide whom to allot a ventilator? For example, if there is a person in need of a ventilator, he is a father of three, and at the same time there is a aged old person. In that situation, what a medical or a clinical must take action so that it can do justice to it. As we know, we have this constitution, and every person has equal rights under article 14 and 21 to life. And based on it, if one discriminates with the old person or with the father of the three, then the it will be a foul of the constitution. Also, it has been seen that section 4 of Epidemics Disease Act exempts sweets taken in good faith. So does this section 4 of Epidemics Act also expressly ratify the acts of the doctor which take any medical decision in such kind of pandemic situation? That is unanswered today. India today have a standard of care, and this standard of care has been derived from many judgments given by the Supreme Court. Basically, it talks about what minimally competent physician in the same field will do in the same situation with the same resources. However, it does not elaborate what a medical or a clinical person should do in a pandemic situation. So there is no legislation which defines applicable standards of care in different situations such as a pandemic. And mere reliance on the archaic Epidemic Disease Act is not effective counter to these constitutional principles. So today we need to bring a policy which is similar to US crisis standard of care, in which it has defined how a medical community should allocate scarce resources for the betterment of the society overall. So the step needed to be taken is basically to enact laws, ordinances, and regulation and answer these medical legal questions. Lastly, we have some item in the news and flash section. Tamil's war memorial vandalized. A new war memorial for Tamil killed in the Sri Lanka civil war were found vandalized in the northern Mulivattu, Sri Lanka. The Mulivakkal War Remembrance Committee voiced concern over the continuing attack on Tamil right to the memorialization. So, a civil war which had occurred in Sri Lanka, it is seen that 18 May 2009 is the memorial day for thousands of Tamil civilians who were trapped and killed in Mulivakkal war. And it has also been seen that the very next day, that is 19 May, the government observes the Ranaviru, that is War Heroes Day, hailing the soldiers who fought terrorism by defeating the separatist LTTE. So this was all for today. Thank you.